So after 3 gate changes and an alarm going off for like 10 minutes before they could fix it, we are finally getting on the plane. And by we, I mean I am. Brock is staying in Rome for 1 more day, and then he's heading back to Lisbon in Portugal. And Jake left early this morning to go back to Scotland, so I am on my way to Greece, Athens, by myself. So yeah, when I get there, see you there. Peace. So I just arrived in a place called Syntigma Square, so I'm just here right now, this is it, in Greece. And I don't know if these are stray dogs, they have collars on, and I don't know if their owners are just letting them run around. But like, they lay in the street, and when motorbikes come, they chase the motorbikes, which seems super sketchy and super dangerous to me. But I don't know, the guys over here were just laughing when they did it, so I don't know if it's like a normal thing or what, but it's kind of funny, I guess, but it's weird. It's scary if they get hit. But yeah, like that one's like right in the middle of the road. Anyways, so yeah, I just got here. It's like 7 o'clock, and so I just had to hop on the metro at one station and move over. Right now I'm just kind of waiting. This is a nice building. I don't know exactly what it is. Probably some type of like city hall or parliament. It's got the Greek flag on it. I don't have a map of the city yet, so I can't really tour around. I'm just going to be going to my hostel. But, oh, here comes a motorbike right here. Like he's ready to pounce. Okay, the guy pulled over. That's not as fun. I have no clue what's going on. If that's like just a random guy pulling over. Yeah, I think that guy just randomly pulled over and started petting the dog. I don't know, it's Greece. Who knows? But yeah, I'm gonna go find my subway now and I'll talk to you later. Peace. Well, it's morning now in Athens and I am off to do a walking tour. It's only like $5 and they take you around and kind of give you the history and just show you around, so that's pretty cool, so I thought I'd do that. So yeah, that's a few hours, and then I'll be going and exploring myself. Then I'm going to Mykonos for a couple days, which is just one of the islands in Greece. So I'll be checking that out, and mainly like just, it's a beach area where I'm staying. It's called Paradise Beach, so that should be nice. So yeah, today's like kind of sunny, but still it's overcast pretty much right now. But tomorrow and the next days are supposed to be really sunny, so that's good. And like right now I'm just like touring and seeing buildings, so you don't really need it to be that sunny. But hopefully, fingers crossed, it's sunny tomorrow. So yeah, I'm off to the walking tour. Hopefully I can vlog and not seem too weird. But yeah, I'll see you there. Peace. So I'm on the walking tour right now. This is our group here. And I'm really glad I did it actually, because the information is super cool. This is the old Olympic Stadium. It was originally built 400 BC, and then they restored it in 1896 for the first modern Olympic Games. And the original one sat 70,000 people, and this one sits 60,000 people. And it's just awesome to see. And there are 2 really cool stories pertaining to this. Do I have time to tell it? I'll probably tell them later, just when, because I think we're going to be moving on. I'll tell them later, and it's super cool. But yeah, so this is the Olympic Stadium, the original one. It started it all. And yeah, you can see the Olympic symbol back there. So yeah, that's it, and we'll be doing a bunch of stuff from this point on as well. So I'll see you in a bit. Peace.
It's called the Zapion. Like I said, this whole area is the center of the first Olympic village, but the reason the building's called the Zapion because it's named after this guy here, Evangelis Zappa, and his cousin over there, Frank Zappa. Constantinos Zappa. Although Frank Zappa is half Greek. My Greek friends are adamant about this. He'd have a guitar if he was Frank. These two guys, Evangelis Zappa was a very important general in the Greek war for independence against the Ottoman Turks. The Turks occupied Greece for about 400 years, and only in 1821 did the Greeks revolt. And they freed themselves in the course of a number of years. Lord Byron comes from Britain, he fights with them, he gets killed. His grave is around here somewhere in a statue form and things like that. And the Greeks only rule themselves for a few years before the rest of Europe sends a king and a queen from Bavaria to rule Greece. And the problem is there's a lot of conflict about this, a lot of civil war. Every warlord in every village thinks he should be the king of Greece. And for 20, 30 years there's fighting. And Evangelis Zappa finally gets the idea that we need to revive the Olympic Games, because in ancient times, the ancients used this to bring all the different city-states of Greece together under a peace for 2 weeks to have the Olympic Games, and then they'd all go back to their islands and start killing each other again. So he thought, let's give it a try. And they do a trial version of the games in 1859 on the main square, Syntagma Square, and it goes really well. So the king gets behind it. And the problem is, the parliament doesn't. The parliament says games are boring, sporting sucks. We should have an agricultural and industrial exhibition. That'll be fun. And so the compromise is that they'll have both together, and that's why this building's here. This building hosted the agricultural exhibition of the Olympic Games in 1896. Fortunately, that part got kicked off. The sad part is that Evangelis Zappa didn't live to see any of this. He put his entire fortune, billions of dollars, into the idea, but he had to pass along the idea and his money to his cousin Constantinos Zappa, who finished it for him though. And since this building was going to be the main centerpiece of the games and the agricultural exhibition, they did a great job of putting all the best parts of ancient Greek architecture into it, because they knew the world was going to come and see it. So already you see these columns, which you should recognize as Corinthian columns from the Temple of Zeus. When you go in though, make sure you look up, because the tiles that you see, they're going to be these blue tiles with gold stars on them. It's exactly how the main walkway into the Acropolis was as well, except that one was done with pure gold. Even 600 years after it was built, the gold was still there, and every traveler coming through would mark upon it. Even a Roman traveler that we have a lot of information about ancient Greece from said it's the most beautiful gateway he ever walked through. Once we get inside, there's a few real crazy things I want to point out as well. So let's go check it out. It's not open every day.
So yeah, that guy's named Mike. He's our tour guide and he's from Canada. He's really interesting. He has a cool stuff, so hopefully you enjoyed that. He told the story about the Battle of Marathon and the first Olympic Games, which I still want to tell, but I don't have time to tell you yet. When I'm by myself, I'll tell you the story. It'll be cool, so don't worry about it. But we're about to go in, and then hopefully I'll keep recording. You can listen to more, and then if it's boring, I'll cut it, but let's see what happens. These temples were more colorful than East Indian temples are now today. Even this is a little soft. So when you go into any of these spots, you have to remember this. Toss in some bright blues, some sunlight yellows, things like that. The other thing about this building, you see these columns we're standing between now, these little curly cubes on the top. These are called Ionian columns. It's always a sign that it's the Greeks building it, not the Romans, and usually that it comes from the islands. There's something a little more elegant about these ones. You can imagine sea breezes and wind and rain nearby. Usually they get used when we're putting them on a female temple, something we want to be a little more elegant. But with this building, we start combining them. So we have the Corinthian out front, we have the Ionian in here, and it's very rare that you see all of them together. Also along the top of there, you see these heads on the second level. That's also a reference to one of the buildings on the Acropolis. You'll see it when you go up there. It's very, very famous. It's 6 female figures supporting a balcony. It's the first time in ancient architectural history that you have a body used to support a roof. Nowadays we see it all the time, usually with Poseidon holding up a roof. But this one is just the women's necks supporting it. It's a huge architectural feat. So this is a little reference to that. Speaking of heads though, see this plaque on your right? That's a plaque for Evangelis Zappa, the guy who came up with the Olympic Games, because about 10-15 years after he died, they started building this building. And everyone in Athens said, you know, it was such a good idea he had making the Olympic Games.
let's go to Albania where he's buried, dig up his body, cut off his head, bring it back to Athens, and bury it in the wall of this building. And that's what they did. So that plaque actually says, here lies the head of Evangelos Zappa. And at the base of it is his severed skull. It was the Romantic era. You did funny things like that. You know, poets' hearts are buried all over Europe, and this guy's head.
Back at Stigma Square. That seemed so funny. It almost seems fake how they march. They have like big pom-poms on the bottom of their shoes. But yeah, funniest thing, there's so many pigeons around here. And there's guys, I don't know where they are. But they're over here and they like pour like food or seeds on your arm. And then the pigeons like all go on your arm. And so one of the guys came over to our tour group and I think they tried to get you to pay for a picture with the pigeons on you, and no one wanted it, but they just started throwing like the seeds onto them, and then all the pigeons just like swarmed our tour group. It was so funny. I was dying laughing, but I was laughing so hard I couldn't get my camera out to record it. But yeah, it was really funny. So right now we're just chilling out here in front of a Parliament building, and we still don't know what the deal is with the dogs. Maybe I'll ask the tour group leader, but like they are virtually everywhere. They're funny though. They're really like tame and not crazy at all. They just walk around and they're just chilling. It's pretty cool. Apparently they were like a while ago, like in 2004, there used to be huge packs of them everywhere, and then it got a big problem, and so they rounded some of the sick ones or the ones that had rabies and stuff up and put them down, and now it's not that big of a problem, but pretty intense. But yeah, right now we're just chilling outside of Parliament building and looking around. And then yeah, I'll talk to you later when we get to something else. Hey. So this is the now current Greek Parliament, and that is the tomb of the unknown soldier. And interesting fact, the Greeks were the first ones to think of creating a tomb like that. Now there's tons all over the world, either like burning flames or something to represent lost soldiers. But the Greeks used to carry on empty coffins because they believed that without proper burial that the soldiers couldn't move on to the next life. So they would carry on empty coffins and bring them to them just so that any lost spirits could enter the coffin and go into the next life. And then those pom-poms that I talked about, it's actually a kind of cool story why they wear them. When there's been a constant war between the Turks and the Greeks through ancient times, like the Turks were in Greece for over 400 years. It's interesting, Greece, the modern Greece, is only about 180 years old. You don't think of that because you know Greece is so old. But it actually formed in like 1836 or 1832, somewhere around there, our guide was saying. So it's really young country, so you don't really think about it like that, but it's pretty cool. But anyways, the reason they wear the pom-poms on their shoes is when the Turks were here during that time, the Greeks weren't allowed to carry weapons because obviously the Turks wouldn't want them revolting. So all the Greeks would wear pom-poms on their shoes, and like any civilian would, and then the guerrillas or the kind of like militia rebellion fighters would put knives in their shoes or in the pom-poms so that if they needed to fight they could just pull them out, but you didn't actually know who was who if you were a civilian or a guerrilla fighter because everyone wore them. So, fun fact, it's pretty cool. And there's a bunch of cool facts that I want to bring up. One about the battle between Greece and Turkey, that's a really cool one too. But still walking with the tour, so I'll bring it up later. So I'll talk to you later. Peace.